Okay. I think that's it. I think we are live, Tim Kubart.
We're live on Scottcast?
This is episode 2.
Wow.
You're not quite the first guest, but pretty close up there. I mean, that's pretty good.
That's pretty big.
Yeah.
Does Scottcast have a theme song?
I should have, like, Scottcast. That's perfect. So how you doing? Welcome to California.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm so happy to be here in California for a few days.
Yeah, that's not a bad hang.
I get to stay at the Postmodern Jukebox house.
Yeah. This is true. It's kind of like a hotel of just, random musicians that find themselves out here.
Yeah, it's great. Some other PMJ members were here this morning.
Yeah,
getting ready for a video.
We got a big shoot coming up You're missing it on Sunday.
I'm missing it.
It's a huge shoot. Yeah, it's going to be like one where I don't want to give it away, but it's going to be like with a fancy production company and everything.
I saw some of it this morning.
It's going to be pretty cool.
It looks cool.
But so I thought that it would be really fun to kind of have you on here because people know you so well as Tambourine Guy.
Yes.
And you don't really get to speak or do anything as Tambourine Guy. You're more of like a character.
Every time I write a bio, the last line of my bio is always, but he's probably best known as Tambourine Guy from the Bio Music Collective Postmodern Jukebox.
No, you shouldn't put that. You've done stuff.
It's at the end of every bio. I say the things I've done, and then I say that, but he's best known as Tambourine Guy.
How many times do you think you get recognized as Tambourine Guy? Like this,
I get recognized. Even at a Postmodern Jukebox show, if I leave the PMJ show not holding the tambourine, people don't recognize me.
Yeah, I find that the context really matters a lot in that sense. It really matters. If I'm outside like a Postmodern Jukebox show, I'm going to get recognized. But if I'm just getting coffee somewhere, that's why it's weird to me when it does happen when I'm just dressed normally. If somebody, that's always strange to me.
It's been a few times, people on the street just yelling, "I know who you are." But mostly, I think I just look like a regular dude. So So if I'm not holding a tambourine, people are just like, "There's that regular dude."
But people probably recognize you from other stuff. You've done television. You've done, Grammy-Award. I mean, we'll talk about that later. But a lot of people probably don't realize that you won a Grammy. Actually, I kind of had some fun with that whenever on stage. And I'm like, this is the only guy in Postmodern Jukebox to win a Grammy. And then it's like, yep, it's the jackass playing the tambourine.
It was a good day.
Yeah. But
in children's music.
Yeah. But exactly. You didn't win a Grammy for tambourine as much as I had kind of made it sound that way, maybe sometimes.
That'd be a difficult one.
That was and what's the album? The name of your album?
It's called Home. It's just under my name, Tim Kubart. Though I do think sometimes just putting out my children's records as Tambourine Guy. But it's fun to. Tambourine Guy's always been really special. That it's like a break from the other stuff that I'm doing.
Right.
That if I have a few weeks off, I go be Tambourine Guy, and it's been the most special thing. That like all of a sudden I'm in Russia and I have my vest and I have my tambourine, and people are excited that I'm there.
It's kind of like a vacation in some ways.
It is. I kind
not to diminish the physical activity that the job requires. But,
that is the thing is when we are on tour, it's hard to do anything during the day besides play the tambourine.
Right.
Because the rest of the day, I'm regretting playing the tambourine the night before.
Do you have like a stretching regimen that you do? I mean, I've seen a couple times before shows you've kind of stretched.
Yeah, I stretch before every show, and also I do a lot of yoga, and it's mostly like I think to myself, I need to be in Tambourine Guy shape.
Oh yeah.
That like 2 to 3 weeks before I know I'm going to go on tour for a couple weeks, I'll go to yoga every single day.
Wow.
And I went to the same like yoga studio in LA, and I was wearing my Postmodern Jukebox jacket.
Okay.
And I let them know that, I'm coming here so I can continue to be Tambourine Guy.
Really? That's amazing. I guess it's kind of like a palliative measure, because Tambourine Guy is so damaging probably. Just like it's hard, like you're jumping around, you're hitting yourself with the tambourine. I mean, you have like lots of different moves as Tambourine Guy. One of them is like you hit yourself like pretty hard.
Yeah,
with the tambourine.
I feel like I need to start thinking about the moves that not every move is something that is so painful to my body, and I feel like I should be showing those off more. My good friend, she always tells me, she's like, I like it when you just go like this, when I'm just shaking my hips. She's like, you don't get hurt from that, right? I'm like, no. She's like, why don't you just shake your hips more? I'm like, good point. And then I think about it right before I go on stage, and I remember actually right before we played Radio City Music Hall,
Yeah.
I thought to myself, I don't want to hurt myself. I'll just shake my hips a lot. But then when I go on stage, I like forget.
But instinct takes over.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
That is like what Tambourine Guy is. It's like it's hard for me to like make decisions because when I have the tambourine, I kind of like turn off.
Yeah.
Like anything besides what's the most fun thing right now? What's the thing that's gonna get the crowd so excited right now? And it's almost like I don't even think about it. I just end up doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's probably, I think with any performer that has done something a lot, and, we get kind of these feedback loops from the audience. Like, we know that certain things always generate applause, or we know, I don't know, it becomes like this. So you almost go on autopilot. I know whenever I go on stage and I'm playing something on piano or something like that, it becomes, kind of autopilot in a sense.
Totally. I try really hard, like, to not be on autopilot as Tambourine Guy.
Yeah.
Like, that's, I think it's, because I can be, and I have been before. And I know, I'm not sure if the audience knows or not.
Yeah.
But I know if I'm like, I was Tambourine Guy then, or I was not Tambourine Guy then.
Oh, really?
I was just
Okay.
like going
Yeah.
through the Tambourine Guy motions. But when I'm actually having that much fun, then I am Tambourine Guy.
So that's almost like kind of like a method actor, right?
I
That's like
guess so.
And that's your training. You're training. Like if we're going back. You started as an actor.
I did.
And
I
you
went to school. Yeah, I went to
music
school
theater,
for regular acting.
or just straight up acting.
Yeah,
okay,
I learned how to do Tennessee Williams and Chekhov and Shakespeare.
Yeah.
And I've not.
And now you're jumping
been-
around with a tambourine.
I have
Man,
not been in a play since I graduated from college.
Oh wow. Okay.
But I didn't. I never pursued it though,
Mm-hmm.
because my senior year of college, I found children's music.
Yeah.
And that's what I pursued forever, and I'm still pursuing now. My senior year of college, there was a senior values class that you had to take.
Okay.
Because I went to a Catholic school, and you take the senior values class, and then along with that, you have to do a certain amount of hours of community service. So I was taking a women and theology class.
Okay.
And they gave me a list of all women's groups to do community service for. And I was volunteering at a homeless shelter for women and children for one semester of college. And the director of the homeless shelter, one time I came there with my guitar in my back, and he was like, "You play guitar, why don't you play for the kids?" Mm-hmm. And I said, "Oh, okay, yeah, I don't know any kids songs." And he said, "Well, learn some kids songs." So I learned The Wheels on the Bus, and I wrote a silly song called the Octopus Song. And I put on a little concert for the kids in the shelter, and really, it's the easiest thing I ever said yes to.
Wow.
It was just a minute or two into it, I said, "Oh, this is what I do."
And that was like a life-changing experience right
Yes.
there.
Yeah.
Like that's funny how those things happen, but I think that a lot of people have that experience where they
It was
do something, then it's like all of a sudden everything snaps into place. It's
exactly.
like
It was like, "Oh, this is it."
Yeah,
Yeah.
you've been looking for what you want to do or what you really want to make your career or your passion or something like that. But that's pretty cool. So do you think that all the acting training kind of helped prepare you for that in like an oblique way, Like
Yeah.
even Tambourine Guy, I'd imagine like it's not something that anybody can just get up and do, like there's some kind of level of
There's something.
You know.
I'm not sure. I feel like I try to bring a lot of myself to Tambourine Guy, like along
Yeah.
with just high school being super into pop punk. Like Tambourine Guy, like
Tambourine Guy at a mosh pit. That would be
Tambourine Guy has. I mean, I could jump. Like I jump off the drum stand all the time because I'm like, this is what the guys who I liked in high school did.
right.
And that's what
yeah.
got me really
That's
happy.
a good thing. I'm just trying to check my phone to make sure that this
this
thing is actually
working?
recording. Yeah, this is like the point where I'm still new to this, using this more fancy setup. So there's like we might have no audio or something like that. I'm sure people will let me know. Nope, people are. You know what? We got it.
Are people saying hi?
People are saying hi.
Hey, everybody.
Yeah, we'll have lots of comments to read afterwards. And for those of you that are tuning in, this is the second episode of Scottcast, and I'm putting this all on my second YouTube channel, which is just youtube.com/Scott Bradley. I got Tim Kubart here, who, in addition to being Tambourine Guy, is also a Grammy-Award winning songwriter and performer, mostly in children's music. And
Thanks, Scott.
you can.
Well, we also met doing children's music.
That's right. This is
That
right.
Children's music brought us together.
This is a crazy story of how Tambourine Guy, actually the character, got vented.
Yeah.
We were doing a job, and it was kids music. It was like this thing. I met you at this company where we were doing music for babies, It's more we were playing music at babies more than anything else because they
was-
were like
yeah, it was
2
just
years
generally,
old,
like,
3 years
2 I mean,
old.
sometimes it would be just like literally a few-month-old baby, 2 of them, and their nannies texting.
Yeah,
Scott's going
that was
wild.
a big thing. Yeah,
Scott's going wild on the piano.
well, that was my only gig. This was like when I first moved to New York City, and you know, at that point I was completely unknown, and I didn't have any of the YouTube stuff going. I didn't even have like restaurant gigs at this point. So the only gigs that were available were, you know, it was like be an accompanist for these kids' music classes. I'm like, that's cool. I can do that.
You
know?
gotta get it out.
So yeah.
We used to play for like 9 hours on, I think it was either Tuesdays or Wednesdays, and I would get so into the way that you played that I would know there was something special that you did with your left hand.
Oh, yeah.
Before you would start playing the Mario Brothers theme with your right hand. Scott was the only piano player that I mean, I
put in a lot of just weird random
I
stuff.
would just be like, take a solo, Scott.
Yeah.
And then like he'd play the Mario Brothers theme song. I'm like, that's Scott.
I wonder what I'm trying to think what I did now. It was like I do probably something like that. Probably something like that. That was usually the giveaway. But I remember we would come up with all kinds of crazy ideas in the class where we would fuse kids songs with modern day pop.
Yes.
And we did the Itsy Bitsy Spider as performed by Eminem and Rihanna. I think that was the apex. I think that was like
that was the big one.
That was the best one.
But I also like that we like created these classes. They just sort of put us in a room. And they're like, people are gonna come and you got to do stuff.
And it was a lot of celebrity parents too.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was like all the time. You know?
So we would use the stuff in the room that we had that chair that swiveled, and we called it the chair of destiny.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Because we
Yep.
put the toys that the kids were going to play with behind that chair.
It was like the big reveal.
Yes.
You know, and it wasn't. I mean, it was. It was the lamest like prop ever.
It was just a green chair.
Yeah.
They would make a big deal over it, and then count to 5 and spin it.
Yeah, and that was it. Yeah, I wish that there was like some recording of these classes because they'd probably be very interesting for PMJ fans. I'm sure that they would appreciate.
I know.
Just the amount of just funny pop culture references we made and all that stuff.
Like 2 years ago, I remember you still had the video of you playing that song with me having a parachute over myself, and we were just saying that I was Medusa, and
it was like a really epic kind of.
It was very epic.
Dramatic music and stuff.
Things got epic, or they were the Jersey Shore.
Or there's a lot of Jersey Shore. We did,
At the time, Jersey Shore was very popular.
It was very real. I mean, it's still big to me.
Okay,
I still, I'll watch a rerun every so often. But the Tambourine Guy character came about
in that room.
It was when it was going to be Thanksgiving, and Nickelback was going to be performing in Detroit, and all these people made a petition saying that they didn't want Nickelback to play the halftime show because they felt that it didn't represent their city. So, I had this idea of like, well, why don't we take like a Nickelback song, make it into Motown, and do like.
I remember you saying that. I'm like, Scott, that's the best idea I've ever heard. You have to do that tonight because this was like the Monday
it was like
or
2
Tuesday
days. It was like
before Thanksgiving.
I think it was like 2 days to go to Thanksgiving.
It's like you have to do that immediately.
Immediately, yeah. And so then we were coming up, and I think Chip Thomas, drummer, was there as well, and he was playing in our classes too. So actually, there was a lot of the PMJ people did those classes.
Jumpsuit Alex.
Yeah, that's right. Tap dancer.
Yep.
And we were coming up with what we were gonna do, and I wanted to have like a singer and a saxophone player, and then you came up with this idea. You're like, well, what about somebody just playing tambourine, like way too excited about it, like way too enthusiastic. And I thought it was a really funny idea. I'm like, oh yeah, let me just get like a percussionist that can play tambourine. And then you're like, well, I'm just saying.
I have a tambourine.
Yeah. So do you remember my reaction? I think that I don't know. I think I gave a very non-committal response, like, yeah.
You were like, maybe.
Yeah. I was like, yeah. I was like, I don't know. I don't know if this guy can play drums or tambourine. I'm pretty sure that he's not a drummer.
I'm not.
Yeah. So. But then I guess cooler heads prevailed in a way.
I remember you calling me, and you were like,
you got the gig.
Yeah, it was because you couldn't find anyone else.
Because I couldn't find any other drummer who wanted to do it.
I can't find anyone who wants to do it. Do you want to come? I'm like, yeah. And then you were like, can you bring mics too?
Did you bring microphones too?
I
probably.
I show up and you were duct taping.
But this was in this was in my old apartment, my very first apartment in Queens. It was a basement, and that's where all the PMJ stuff kind of got recorded in the very beginning, very early days. It was like, it was a really funny place. It was just, there was really no natural light to speak of. It was, kind of like an underground bunker of sorts, but it had a lot of space, and there was a lot of room for putting musical instruments there, and that was the appeal.
And I remember you were duct taping my mic to stuff, and the drummer was like, Scott Bradley production.
Yeah. It was probably Alan, right?
It was Alan, yeah.
Yeah, no, I was very much known for just these kind of MacGyver setups. I still do that stuff. There's still duct tape on
It's not that far.
It's not that far. I mean, well, this is because I didn't do this myself. But if I had done it myself, there would be duct tape everywhere. That's just,
And then the next day, you put it up and...
Viral gold.
Viral gold.
It was it was a lot of views in very, very short amount of time.
People, I wasn't calling myself Tambourine Guy. It was the comment section that did.
Yeah, I think we just billed you as Tambourine, like on Tambourine, Tim Kubart.
And we just saw the comments that were like, there's Tambourine Guy. It's like, I guess I'm Tambourine Guy now.
Yeah.
And Scott,
it was really like an instantaneous where people adopted the moniker Tambourine Guy. And it was everywhere. It was in like, I forget which publications, a lot of like online blogs that are like, here's what we know about Tambourine Guy. And it was like this whole thing of like, who is this Tambourine Guy? Why is he so excited?
This is also before anything else kind of happened in my career that I was only...
Yeah. And well, for me too. I mean, I was doing interviews about Motown tribute to Nickelback, which was the kind of the original name of Postmodern Jukebox, and then we
did that for like a year.
It was a good year. We did live at Squamish. We did that festival.
That was still one of the best shows of my entire
life.
life.
We had people holding signs like "I love you, Tambourine Guy" and stuff. And but it was kind of weird that everybody just instinctively called you Tambourine Guy, and it was consistent like throughout the every media outlet was like, oh, Tambourine Guy's in this video. And then, but you're also like a celebrity in Russia, right? Like that happened after the video with Morgan.
Yeah, with Morgan.
With Morgan James.
Just overnight, this was a few years ago, we did the video with Morgan, and it was out for like a month or two. Mm-hmm. But then overnight, it got like another 1 million views or something.
Yeah.
I woke up to thousands of new Facebook followers and so many Russian messages.
Yeah.
I mean, it was because it was put up on like Russia's like BuzzFeed, like their #1 like internet.
Was it on like VK? VK is like their social media.
I forget. It was like it was like, and it was like the video of the day.
Okay, I see.
And then at the end of that year, it was in the top 10 videos of the year.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. That's so interesting. But they didn't call you. They called you something else. What was it?
Oh yeah, because it translates into Russian, and it was called Mr. Friday.
Mr. Friday. I guess because like the weekend is coming. Like,
yeah, I would imagine. Yeah, it makes sense.
Excited. Yeah, it makes sense. That's so weird though that so you went viral in the U.S., but then kind of sometime later you went viral in Russia as well.
I mean, the people in Russia, I've done 3 shows with PMJ in Russia, and they are so kind. And
that's awesome. Yeah.
After the show, I like make sure that I stay, and last time I came out too in Moscow, I jumped out, and probably about 40 tambourines just went in the air.
So everybody knows to bring their tambourines.
People bring their tambourines.
That's amazing.
And there's lots of hugs, and there's, I mean, I love going there because it's just a big love fest. Mm-hmm. And I feel sometimes that like I'm not Tambourine Guy. Tambourine Guy is like a different thing. That like we're all just, isn't life so great? Let's play our tambourines. Let's smile. Let's have a good time tonight.
Right. Yeah. Well, you had a good kind of assessment of what Tambourine Guy was or what it represents, and I wrote about it in like a blog one time. Mm-hmm. But you had said that, and I thought it was really kind of fitting. It was like Tambourine Guy kind of represents the part that everybody has, like when they're watching a band on stage, that they want to, no matter who they are, they want to be there, like on stage and be partaking in that kind of celebration. So you're kind of like the audience member that somehow found his way on stage. In a sense.
At the end of most shows that I'm at, I bring an audience member on stage.
Right, you kind of could, yeah.
And that's my favorite part.
Yeah.
And there have been plenty of people who do Tambourine Guy better than me.
There was somebody that did a backflip. Yeah. There was one time, I think in Philadelphia. Yeah.
And I mean, he was so good. During the last song, I'd only come out with 2 tambourines, and then I'm watching throughout the show who's the person, who's it going to be.
Yeah.
And I feel like I make the right decision most of the time. And I find someone who seems like they're just so happy to be there.
Yeah.
And I bring them on stage, and they get to be Tambourine Guy too.
Yeah. And that's pretty amazing.
Also, sometimes then you come on stage, and I give you my tambourine, and then I just spin around in a circle.
Yeah, well,
those shows are fun.
I don't do quite as an enthusiastic version of Tambourine Guy, unfortunately. So I think I probably let people down with that. But do you remember? I was thinking back to their very first tour in Europe when security dragged you off the stage because they just thought you were just a crazy person with a tambourine.
Yeah, that's definitely what happened.
That was it was Copenhagen, I think, right?
I'm good. I'll be honest right now here on Scottcast.
Yeah, okay. This is what you tune in for in Scottcast. All the
I don't get
honesty.
angry too often, but I got angry. Because there's only a certain amount of time I get to be in the show, and I got dragged off by by security.
I remember us looking around, and there was like this big commotion behind me, and it was like the moment that you come out. I forgot what song it was. I don't know, maybe it was Raw or something like that.
And
then I saw them dragging you, and people were like, everybody was super confused. I was confused. I didn't know what happened. It was like, why is Tim being dragged off stage? And then I realized that, well, we didn't really prep, like, we didn't give them a heads up, I guess, in security's defense.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't really.
I just remember just being dragged and yelling, "I'm in the show!"
Which is probably what everybody says, you know.
Yeah.
Which is.
Now I believe when I show up at shows, there's a lot of warning that Tambourine
Not
Guy's
always.
gonna be there.
Not always. I sometimes the cast is surprised. They don't even.
Well, the person who's the tour
Sometimes I forget. I
manager-
forget if you're gonna be at a show.
Those are fun.
You know, and then all of a sudden it's like, whoa, Tambourine Guy is in this show.
Because sometimes there's a show not too far away from where I am, and I'm just like, if I drive right now, I can make it. So I've shown up to shows after they've already started. So the band's already on stage, and I just jump out.
That's amazing. Yeah, I think that it's a very interesting character in that sense because it does give that kind of sense of randomness and it gives a big lift every time you're at one of the shows.
It's my favorite thing to do in the whole world.
It just
but it's like it's been an absolute blessing. It's been the story of my life. The past 4 years of my life, I can't believe the things I got to do.
Well, when was the first time we did it? Was it 2011? 2012,
yes.
I'm not sure.
2011.
2011.
But
and
then,
it was on Thanksgiving. It was around this time of year.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And then PMJ really blew up in 2012, right?
About 2013.
2013.
Yeah. But our touring started in 2014.
Yes.
So it was kind of a year of between videos and then going on tour.
Cool.
And you remember the early days of the tours, too.
Those were the best.
Those were crazy.
I mean, it's good now, too, but
yeah,
it was... We were all so green. And
none of us had ever toured before. None of us had ever.
Any of these things.
We never even had met any PMJ fans in real life. We knew that they existed on the internet, but we didn't actually.
We didn't know if they'd show up.
Yeah.
And they did.
Yeah.
And they knew our names.
It was amazing. Yeah. I remember. Yeah, the first one was Toronto, and you probably weren't on that one.
No, I was at like the third show. I was the first show.
You were at Pawtucket, right?
Pawtucket.
That was the craziest show. That was hands down the craziest PMJ show we've ever had. That was interesting because people were really drunk in that show. The audience was very drunk.
We were having a good time.
Intoxicated.
We started really late at night too.
Well, they held everybody because we were supposed to go on, I think, at like 9, and then they pushed us an hour back. So people were really ready for music for a while. Yeah. And so they were pretty amped up. I remember finishing that show. I was like, "Whoa, is this what tour is like?" I'm like, I don't know if I can.
I was like, "This is what tour is like," and I'm ready for every day to do this.
That's amazing. Well, let's talk a little bit about the kids' music thing because you've won a Grammy for that, and I'm just kind of curious how we have a little bit of the story of how that started. You were doing at the women's shelter.
Yeah, so that's when I kind of decided I would do it, and then it's just was 8 years of hustling in New York City, playing with you on Tuesdays, and had my guitar in my back, had a backpack full of egg shakers and kids' books on my front, and getting on my bicycle and playing anywhere that they'd have me for a few different reasons. I mean, because I wanted to get better at it, because just sort of leading kids is something that you need to learn. That there are people who are good at it immediately, but just like anything, the more you do it, the better you get at it.
I mean, do you think that it's kind of like, I guess probably like a stand-up comedian needs a certain kind of timing
Yeah.
or rhythm?
Yeah.
Or it's crowd control in a sense.
It's a lot of crowd control,
Yeah.
and it's also, I feel sometimes that I've seen every situation that children's music can be.
Yeah.
And so there's nothing new that I walk in and like, oh, okay, it's one of these. I mean, it's from playing 5,000 Mommy and Me classes, 900 kids' birthday parties, and hundreds of concerts around the country.
Right.
And being ready for any of those things to happen. So it was about 8 years of that, and I would also be working so much because I wanted to make my own stuff, which was expensive, that I wanted to make records.
Right.
I took one job because there's not kids' music at night. I was the director of a high school marching band.
Okay.
So I did 2 seasons of that, but the first season, there would be rehearsals on Tuesday and Thursday night and Friday night games in New Jersey.
Okay.
And
Shout out to Jersey.
shout out
watching,
to Jersey.
Watching
and
from Jersey.
The amount of money I made from that whole season, I turned the check around and I gave it to a production company, and I made my first music video, Superhero.
Oh,
was
yeah.
Funded
Yeah.
entirely by 1 season of marching band.
Wow. And it was actually a really clever music video.
Thanks.
You've had a couple of really clever ones that are out there on YouTube. I guess people just search your name, Tim
Just
Kubart?
search my name, just
Yeah.
on YouTube.
Yeah.
And there are some videos and things. And so then doing that sort of independently, and then when I was, after 8 years of that, then I got on Sprout. So for 4 years, I hosted the Sunny Set Up show with Chica the Chicken, which was a dream. I got to spend my mornings with preschoolers. We were live from 30 Rock, which it was just so great. It was like, it's morning for me, it's morning for you. Chica the Chicken is here. Let's sing a song. Let's make a recipe. Let's do a craft. Let's have fun.
It's a hang.
And you came on once.
I came on one. I was on the show once, and Kate Davis too.
Yeah.
We performed. What did we do?
You
Do remember?
did Itsy Bitsy Spider and the
Yeah.
Wheels on the Bus. You did Itsy Bitsy Spider, sort of a jazz version.
Yeah.
Called Postmodern Jukebox.
Postmodern Jukebox. Yeah. Yeah.
It was right after the All About That Bass video.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That was awesome. So 4 years of that, and then I spent 1 year making a record called Home that won the Grammy. I lived in Philadelphia for a year. I came back to New York City. I lived with my friend Dominic. We were sharing a pretty small apartment in Brooklyn, and we had 2 bedrooms, and there was a little bedroom between us, and we turned it into a music studio, and we made a record there.
Cool.
And this tiny room in Brooklyn, that's what
that
got us to Los
produced
Angeles.
a Grammy-winning
Yeah.
record. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
It can be done at home.
Yeah. Hold on, I got to check the camera because sometimes it does this auto shut off thing.
Just made a sound.
It made a sound. Yeah. That was the tip off. It's good. It's good. Let's see what I do. Should be coming back. Okay. Whoa. Nope. There we go. All right, we're good.
We're back.
I haven't worked out all the bugs in this thing yet.
Yeah.
I'm getting better. But all right. So you produced the album right
Produced
in
the
that.
album.
And then now,
Get nominated
what
for
was it?
Grammy.
Yeah. How does? I mean, I don't even really know how that stuff works, to be honest. Even though I'm in music, I don't really.
It's an interesting process that it's Grammy voters, of which there are a few thousand of them.
Okay.
They can vote in any category they want. So if you are a person who's interested in children's music, you should be paying attention to the children's music category.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, you get sent your I think it was 150 albums that were pre-nominated, which is just you sending your album and saying, this is children's music, and somebody listens to it at the Grammys for a second. They're like, yep, that's children's music.
You know what? That counts. Yeah. There we go.
That's good to go there. It goes to a vote. It also goes to like a smaller committee who you don't know. It's not sure.
Yeah.
But
okay.
I found out that I was nominated for a Grammy when I was flying here. I forgot to put my phone in airplane mode. So a text.
Everybody forgets.
I forgot.
Yeah.
A text came through, and it was just a bunch of emojis of people dancing. And I knew that the Grammy nominees were coming out that day. I thought it was gonna be later in the day. And it was a friend of mine who never texted me. So it was just a very joyous text message. And I was like, is this because I was just nominated for a Grammy? And I bought Wi-Fi on my phone. And then all the text.
That's a reason to do that.
And then
yeah.
all the text came through.
Wow. Okay.
And then I came back And then that night, I made the Bye 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 music video for PMJ.
Oh, yeah, with Tara Louise singing. Wow. Okay, that was the same day. That's
and the
right.
next day, I went to Disneyland.
There you go, as one
with
does.
Chip,
when they...
the drummer, and Christina Gatti.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Because that's what we had
amazing.
to do.
That's what you do when you get nominated for
You're nominated
a Grammy.
for a Grammy. What do you do now? Disneyland with Chip and Christina.
That's crazy. Well, what was the moment like? Because I think this is something that would be interesting for people at home. Just, both of us, neither of us were really came from entertainment. Like I didn't come from that world. You didn't come from that world.
Yeah.
We were always kind of outsiders in that industry. I think to some degree. So what does it feel like to just be there and then have your name called and when you won the Grammy?
If you go to my Facebook page, you can watch the video of my speech. I am so happy. So right before, it's during the day. They have the big Grammy ceremony that same evening, and I'm doing like red carpet and getting my picture taken in press and things, and the guys who I made the record with, they're sitting in our seats, and the ceremony's going on, and they're texting me like, "Category's coming up, you better make it here." So I make it just a few minutes before the category starts, and I was taking a picture of the screen with my name on it because I didn't think that I would win.
Oh, right.
And I thought that this was really cool.
That was going to be the coolest moment you could get captured. Yeah.
So I took a picture of that, and they called my name, and I just screamed, "What?" And there also wasn't. It wasn't like we really didn't think we would win. We didn't know if I was going to go up by myself or if me and the three guys who I came with who worked on the record with me were going to come. And I was like, "What? Come on!" So we all just sort of dance up there. And you can see it on my Facebook. And then I give my speech. I didn't really write a speech. I just had a few names written down in my pocket, which I wrote on the Uber on the way there. Because I just needed to make sure that I remembered to thank my mom and dad and sister. So I take that out, and the piece of paper that I take out just has names on it. And I just opened my mouth and words came out. I thanked the Tambourine Army. I thanked Scott Bradley and the Postmodern Jukebox. I thanked Chica the Chicken. And
it must have been so confusing for people that were
Oh, yeah.
listening, and they're like, "Wait, Tambourine Army? Wait, what?"
when I looked at Twitter afterwards, and everybody who was watching was like, "I'm pretty sure that guy who wrote children's music just thanked every single person in the world." My speech was just like, "Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you." And then right after you win, you get escorted backstage, and they take the Grammy away from you.
Yeah.
Because you don't get to go home with the Grammy. They mail it to you.
Oh, so they're giving you like a fake one, like just for show.
Yeah, the Grammys that you see
the
on
real
stage,
one you get.
It's just
okay.
like they just have like 3 of them that they're like swapping.
I see. Okay.
I take a picture with the guy who's the president of the Grammys, and then I get escorted to like the winners circle.
Winner's circle?
To do press and stuff.
Oh, I see.
But there's like a waiting area type place.
So
and
they got all press people around, and you're...
Yeah, well, press people is like in another room, and we're just like kind of waiting. And the first person I see is Alice Cooper.
Really? Wow.
And he was watching the broadcast on like the TV they have back there. And I walk in, and I was like really happy. And Alice Cooper walks over to me, and he just goes, "Hey man, great speech." And
that's awesome.
This is, and then so like I'm looking at Alice Cooper, and my brain is trying to process all of this. That it just came out of my mouth. I said, "I'm not worthy." Did you not know that? And like I didn't. It wasn't a performance. I didn't like get down on my knees and like do like the Wayne's World. Like, "I'm not worthy." He's like, "Hey man, great speech." I'm like, "Thanks, I'm not worthy."
He's probably like, "What are you talking about?"
It was the only thing that my brain was like, "This is what you say to Alice Cooper when you see him." And also, like, I thought because I was only in the theater for a few minutes, I thought there was a lot of people like me, like independent artists, but. Ed Sheeran won like 2 after me, and Skrillex won 3 after me. And like Ed Sheeran and Skrillex totally heard my speech.
Yeah. Well, I mean, no, I think it's very rare for an independent artist. You're probably one of the few that has won a Grammy Award.
That year, there was only a few that were completely independent, completely self-funded.
Right. Yeah. So that's crazy.
Because there's people who win who are like on smaller labels.
Yeah.
But just making it out of my apartment.
Wow. Yeah. What do you do with the
Would you know
trophy?
about
Where
that
do
kind
you
of
keep the trophy? Is there?
So when I got the trophy, it was when I got back from Russia the first time.
Yeah.
And the box is there in front of my apartment door. And I take it out, and I looked at my apartment, and I was like, this apartment isn't nice enough for
Grammy.
for a Grammy. So I went to IKEA the next day, and I bought a bookshelf, and I put my Grammy on the bookshelf.
There we go. That works. Yeah, I have like a bunch of like various like these little plaque things. Like I got one from YouTube.
Yeah.
It was like 1 million subscribers. It's on the floor. I don't have it any. I mean, the only thing I have on the mantle, I have a Streamy Award, but I didn't win that. We stole that from Pitbull at the Streamy Awards. So it's like not even my trophy. So I don't. I have a good place for displaying trophies.
You have a great place.
I don't have any trophies yet. So
His mantle just has a clock and a Streamy Award that he stole from Pitbull.
So I mean, if you need any holding for the Grammy,
Cool.
I mean, it's there. It's
Great.
We can add it to the collection of trophies I did not earn or did not win.
And I keep on telling myself, like, maybe I'll just move to Scott's house. In which case, they will.
There
put
you
a
go.
Grammy
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, crash here anytime. We got
Thanks.
plenty of rooms. Just come by, do some videos. That could be your rent.
Let's keep
just
making videos.
do some Tambourine Guy appearances.
Cool.
I always like that it always happens at random times. The Tambourine Guy video appearances. Like it won't happen for like 6 months. Then all of a sudden you'll be in a video.
Yeah, it's like
or
once or
something.
twice a year.
Yeah.
And I'm always so happy when you call, Scott. You call, you're like, hey man, I got this video idea. I think it really could use Tambourine Guy.
There's a certain type of video that it
Like,
can.
yeah, I'll be there.
It really works.
And I love getting on a plane and flying across the country to play the tambourine in your living room.
There
It's
you
great.
go. There's nothing like that. You want to do a song?
Sure.
All right. Well, I think that taking it back to the days when we did all this kids music, this one, I mean, this was your favorite Sesame Street song, right?
Yes.
This is one that you called all the time when
we were blowing bubbles.
Yep, that's right. That was like the cool down period of the class. It was
Yep.
like, all right, everybody, we're gonna just chill out. Bubbles, like even as an adult, there's something that's so relaxing about seeing somebody just blow bubbles.
I blow a lot of bubbles. I'm still available for birthday parties, and sometimes I mean bubbles go over so well. I'm like, maybe I could just blow bubbles for 45 minutes.
That could be the whole thing. Yeah. If you want to book Tim, just follow him at Tim Kubart @TimKubart. Yeah.
Yep.
So why don't we do the song?
Sure.
This is a Sesame Street song. This goes way back. Who sang it on Sesame? Ernie.
Ernie sings it on Sesame Street.
Yeah.
And since the Grammy, I've been writing songs for Sesame.
There we go. Full circle.
Yeah.
Circle. Which ones are? Do you have any coming out on Sesame Street that people might?
I'm not allowed to talk about ones
Oh,
that
yeah?
are coming
Okay.
out.
I don't wanna-
But I can talk about ones that I've done.
Okay.
I did, which was so awesome. The first one I did was Julia, who's the Muppet with autism.
Okay.
That I wrote her first song.
Wow.
It was between her and Elmo and Abby Cadabby and Big Bird,
Amazing.
called "We Can All Be Friends." You can see
Nice.
that too.
So you can check that out on YouTube too.
Yep.
All right. Let's do this.
Cool.
Key of C, I think. Was that
C,
it?
yes. Oh, I'd like to visit the moon on a rocket ship high in the air. Yes, I'd like to visit the moon, but I don't think I'd like to live there. Though I'd like to look down at the earth from above, I'd miss all the places and the people I love. So although I might like it for one afternoon, I don't want to live on the moon. I'd like to travel under the sea. I would meet all the fish everywhere. Yes, I'd travel under the sea, but I don't think I'd like to live there. Though I'd stay for a day there if I had my wish. There's not much to do when your friends are all fish, and an oyster and clam aren't real family. I don't want to live in the sea. I'd like to visit the jungle, hear the lions roar, go back in time and meet a dinosaur. There's so many strange places I'd like to be, but none of them permanently. So if I'm to visit the moon, I would dance on a moonbeam, and then I would make a wish on a star. I'd wish I was home once again. Though I'd like to look down at the earth from above, I miss all the places and the people I love. So although I might like it, I'll be coming home soon. 'Cause I don't want to live on the moon.
Hey, there we go. Tim Kubart, everybody.
Thanks, Scott. Sounds good.
That was I Don't Want to Live on the Moon from Sesame Street.
Yep.
So I'm kind of curious about this, and since you are kind of the expert in this thing, what's the key to writing a great song that resonates like with children and stuff? Because I mean, I think back when I was, kids music as a genre didn't really exist. I think when I was growing up.
It did.
You know?
It's gotten huge in
Yeah.
the past.
I mean, there was
15
stuff
years.
like Puff the Magic Dragon.
Yeah, there
was
were
big.
there were a few people who were doing it, and those are people that we know. I mean,
Yeah.
Raffi, and there's
Well,
always,
Raffi, I guess, was
and there's always kind of like been hometown heroes for children's music.
Uh-huh.
But I find that thinking about where children are and meeting them there is the most important thing.
Okay.
To not speak down to them, but also not speak at a level that they won't understand. To like try your best to understand their world and speak to that and the truth to their world. And then as far as what kind of music works, I think all kinds of music work.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
I think that, I mean, I remember my first cassette tape was MC Hammer. Please Hammer, Don't Hurt Him. That really spoke to me. Michael Jackson's Bad, that spoke to me. I had that on vinyl. It wasn't even a hipster thing. It was just that's the medium of the time.
I had it on vinyl.
Yeah.
I mostly, when I was a kid, I listened to I had Sesame Street tapes.
Okay.
But then I didn't get into pop music until I was in middle school. All of elementary school, the only thing I listened to was Weird Al.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't even know what the songs were that he was parodying.
Okay.
I didn't even know Michael
originals,
Jackson that well. That like, I knew Eat It, but I didn't know Beat It.
So the level of irony was lost. It was
Yeah,
just like, this is a guy that writes silly songs
it's
that
just
I
silly.
like. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the only thing I listened to. I used to like pride myself in the 5th grade. I'm like, I have every Weird Al song memorized. That's all I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would agree that I think any genre could work. I don't know.
I mean, there are
think
a lot of kids who watch PMJ.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I've shown up to PMJ shows, and there's 5-year-old kids dressed as Tambourine Guy.
Yeah.
And they have their own tambourine and their own vest.
Yeah, there's like a series on YouTube that's just basically like kids dancing to PMJ videos. Like people always send me like the video. It's like, this is my 4-year-old, dancing with a tambourine or something like that.
That's awesome.
Or there was another one like babies watching puddles. It was like 2-year-old baby just staring at puddles, just at a sad clown, which I thought was kind of funny. But yeah, I think that
Babies
in some
watching
ways,
puddles.
I know, right? I think in some ways, kids, genre-wise, are a little more open-minded than adults.
Yeah,
They appreciate more types of music.
When it comes to children's music, the only definition of children's music that I can find is what is music that children like.
Okay, that's good.
That's
simple.
That's what children's music is, and
Yeah.
if they like it, then it's children's music. And
Yeah.
I found when I was playing a lot of concerts and things that a lot of kids are already listening to what's on the radio. So Home was made. All of the songs on Home are supposed to sound a little bit like 2 or 3 songs from the radio that were like, we like this Katy Perry song, we like this Justin Bieber song. What can we make that sounds like that? Because we're meeting kids where they are, what they're listening to in the car, but also meets them where they are developmentally.
Got it. I see. So could you maybe pick an example of one of your songs of subject matter wise, like how you kind of tailor that?
Probably our most popular song on like Spotify and things is called Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
And it's It really is Katy Perry's song. It's
Yeah.
it sounds a lot like California Girls actually.
Okay.
And my friend Carly, she raps on it. She like does the Snoop Dogg on it. That we
Okay, she's the Snoop
we
Dogg.
like did a role reversal on it.
Uh-huh.
And the song is just about waking up and having breakfast with your family, and the few minutes you get to share with your family before the grown-ups go to work and the kids go to school.
I see. Okay. All right. So it's like kind of something that kids is familiar to them.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's plenty of stuff that works that's fantasy. I don't do that.
Yeah.
That I remember the few minutes that I had with my parents, and that's what that song's about. Just those few special minutes every morning.
Right. So yours is more like
The
kind of
Breakfast
real
Club,
life.
let's start our day with us. Yeah.
Yeah. More real life driven then.
Yes.
Okay. That's cool. I think that's probably. I mean that totally makes sense. Like if you're gonna write a kid's song, and it needs to be something that, well, they have to feel like they're not being babied, right? Because that's.
Yeah,
I think that especially if you're writing for like anybody over the age of 5 or 6.
Children's music is hard too. That sometimes I'm put in front of a bunch of 8-year-olds, and sometimes I'm put in front of a bunch of 2-year-olds.
Yeah.
And not the same songs work for those two different things.
Right.
So you have to be kind of ready with whatever it's going to be.
And 8-years, I mean, they're listening to radio pop most of the time.
That's when I need Jumpsuit Alex.
Yeah. So for those that don't know, Jumpsuit Alex, that's Alex McDonald, who's a tap dancer with Postmodern Jukebox, and
on
also
tour right now.
Yeah, he's at the tour, and but he performs with you as Jumpsuit Alex, and he's kind of your tambourine guy.
He is Tambourine Guy. Yeah, he's always when he talks to the sound guy's like, "What do you play?" And he always goes, "I'm just putting out the vibe." It's really
It's like a hype man.
He's the hype man.
Yeah.
Because if I have a large group of kids and I'm like, everybody put your hands in the air, there needs to be someone on stage with their hands in the air. And that's Jumpsuit Alex.
Yeah.
And he did it for a year, not in a jumpsuit. And I was like, I feel like you got to be a little weirder. Maybe we'll put you in a jumpsuit. And then his name just turned into Jumpsuit Alex. And he has his own fans.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And I like that he's owned that he's Jumpsuit Alex. Like across all social media, he is Jumpsuit Alex.
Yeah, he's very consistent with that.
Jumpsuit Alex is in Postmodern Jukebox. I wish you wore a jumpsuit in Postmodern Jukebox. Wish you kept it on brand like that.
Yeah.
But I remember you were making those videos in your basement, and I remember saying, I think you have to meet my friend Alex, who's a tap dancer. You guys should make something together.
Right. Yeah.
And that was the Super Mario Brothers.
That's
to bring us back to the beginning of the conversation.
Absolutely. Yeah. And the first tour.
Oh yeah.
That was,
I mean, that was Jumpsuit Alex and I. We grew up together on Long Island, and I mean, we were like the two performers.
Yeah.
In our school.
From a small town, pretty much.
Yeah. From Farmingdale, Long Island, and.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a few more people who are performing professionally now from our high school. Not many, though. And Jumpsuit and I, we grew up doing musicals together in the high school and at the church. And then I remember our first European tour, just like, here we are as performers with, like, poking our head outside of the tour bus going through Paris.
Oh, yeah.
It was the most...
It was like a field trip.
It's my best memory with Alex, is that just like, how did we get here? We're in Paris, we're performing somehow, and we're just screaming at the top of our lungs through the streets of Paris. It was so good.
That's amazing. Yeah, I guess that's, I think that's probably every performer's dream, is to be able to travel the world doing what
and I
you
thank
love
you
to
so
do.
much, Scott, that I've been able to see the world because of the tambourine.
Well, we're very happy to have you with us. We're
Thanks,
always
Scott.
happy to have Tambourine Guy adding a little bit of, I was going to say class to the proceedings, but it's not really class. It's more like just
Tambourine Guy
chaos.
is not adding
class. So maybe, why don't we finish with maybe a little bit of a Tambourine Guy performance?
Sure.
Could we do that? Maybe,
I knew.
I'm trying to think of what the song would be.
I don't think I know the lyrics to any of the songs that...
The Tambourine Guy
Tambourine.
performs on. Is there an instrumental Tambourine Guy thing that could be done? Is there...
I'm trying to think if I could... Love is an attitude. Is it?
What song is that?
My Heart Will Go On.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I know you go on. Love is just one time and lasts
go. That was Tambourine Guy, the more like
That was only the second
the acoustic,
time I ever sang
the acoustic
kind of as
version.
Tambourine Guy.
Yeah, there we go. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Tim, where can the people follow you?
On everything, Tim Kubart, Kubart, Ku, and then Bart like Bart Simpson.
There you go. And his album is Home. It's called Home, and it's available everywhere, right?
All the
iTunes,
places, yep.
all the places. Your website.
TimKubart.com.
Yeah, and you can also catch him on sporadic dates throughout PMJ Tour. Do you have one coming up?
I'm probably doing the things that are around the Northeast.
Yeah,
the New
okay,
York show
all right.
and the Philadelphia show.
So yeah, if you got tickets to one of the shows, you might just catch Tim in action.
Hope to see you there.
All right, see you guys.
Bye.